Unleash the power of purpose with impactful business voices, hosted by Baky and Anita Larson. Each week, you'll be inspired by stories from companies that are making a real difference in the world, and you'll learn practical tips on how to grow your business with an impact.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for listening to our Impactful Business Voices podcast and our monthly Business Lounge episode. Every Tuesday, as most of you know by now, we showcase business owners that make an impact with their business on the world, on their clients. But today, the last Tuesday of the month, you get just Nancy and I, and we'll be sharing business tips and strategies to make an impact on your business and help you grow. Today is going to be a jam-packed session, and we suggest you get your pen and notepad or your computer note sheet, whatever you prefer. Get it ready to take notes as we go through today's topic. We are your hosts. I'm Anita Larson.
And I'm Nancy Baky. And I was just thinking, taking notes. Sorry, Anita. Taking notes. Don't forget not to just only take notes. Take the notes and actually apply them. That's one thing that's so important. Don't forget to apply what you learn. So today's topic, it's all about time management and, how to spend your time wisely in your business. It's really the key to making your business grow. A lot of people forget that part. And I'm being, when I first started, I did not even have a calendar. So I'm really talking about experience that I've had. But the importance of focusing on the right things to ensure that you're using your time wisely and efficiently is what will really help you go from A to B to all the way to Z. So I really wanted to start talking about, what's the importance of having time management? Like, why is it important? Things like that. Sometimes we don't realize, why it is so important for us to apply it in our business and in our personal life. First, I know for me, it reduces a lot of stress. And by having poor time management, it can not only just lead to stress, but you can get sick. There's a lot of things that can happen, God forbid, but you need to prioritize your tasks. And you have to have enough quality breaks. That's important. It's not going to just reduce your stress. It's really going to complete your tasks quicker. Just try it. I guarantee you're going to see, instead of spending 3 hours doing something, you'll spend that hour that you really needed to spend. Also, you're going to achieve your goals in a timely manner. Again, what's really important is putting it into your calendar. If you've got 5 steps that take you 5 hours, don't just start by putting your 1 hour. Put your 5 hours in your calendar so that you know what you're doing and when you're doing them.
Can I quickly?
Yeah.
Nancy? Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to go back to something you just said and add to that, the quality breaks. I think another thing that makes that so important is how many of us now work from home. We're not in an office where we're walking around and interacting and being a little more active than we potentially do at home, and running our own business, especially those of you that do it from home. You can get stuck. It's easy to just get stuck in front of the computer. And next thing you know, you spend all day just sitting in front of the computer. Maybe you grabbed an apple and eating it at your desk or something. Like, get up, go for a quick walk around the neighborhood. Make sure you take your full lunch break away from your desk. Like, step away from your desk, especially if you're working from home. It's important to just, somebody actually, I just read this quote a little while ago, especially for writers. So for those of you who are creative, it's important to take that creative break. They said that even Ernest Hemingway, when he was writing books, he could be so deep into it and then is, so inspired at the time. And that's when he would purposely put everything down and he would go for a long walk and come back like hours later, because then he can look at it with fresh eyes and make sure he's going in the right direction and be just even more inspired when he comes back to it. So that it's very important to take those quality breaks.
Yeah, no, that is a very important point, Anita. And sometimes we're just even sitting on social media for hours, like, and wasting our time, which I'll talk about after. So no, that's a great point that you brought. And, I remember my agenda back in the day. I used to do 23 things every minute. I'm sure there's lots of people that can understand that as well, but it's so dangerous, right? And you only really realize it after you've actually done it. So, those are things that keep us overwhelmed. And, we need to take that out of our space, whether it's our personal or our business. who does not have a super long to-do list? I mean, I totally do. But when we take that to-do list and put it in our agenda, even the little things, if it's really about grocery shopping or, hanging out with your with whoever it is, whether it's personal or business, all that needs to get involved, even your prep for cooking, right? But most important is by having a good track of your calendar, you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to eat the right food. You're going to exercise. That's really, really important. So I wanted to talk just very briefly about procrastination, because many people do procrastinate about their time. I know I used to be one of those. I don't have time for that anymore. But, when you stop procrastinating, you're going to understand why how valued your time is. You're going to definitely reduce your stress level. And I repeat stress because it is a big part of our life every day, especially that we're all working at home and that we can easily just go watch TV or, get on social media. But it's really important to enjoy your days more and more and be able to get as much things done in your calendar. So it's really about taking manageable steps, one thing at a time. Don't take 5 things at a time. And it's also about maintaining a healthy work-life balance and reducing that stress level again. So this brings me really to one of my favorite things that I like to do with my clients. I really help them understand the importance of applying this. Like our topic, it's working to live and not living to work. This is one of the most important things. When we're living to work, we're just like one of my past clients, and I'm going to tell it to you guys because some of you guys might remember this. It's an insurance guy that I had a few years ago, married, 2 kids, and he was just married for 6 years, so newlywed, 2 kids. They were 8 at the time, twins. Relationship with his wife was diminishing basically, and he was hardly seeing his 2 kids. So because he was working 7 days a week, I basically told him, I said, if you want to work together, we need to change your agenda because that's not going to work. They had a beautiful house, 2 beautiful cars. So this is what happened. He used to leave before they wake up, arrive before they came in, and before they went to sleep, and he would never see his wife. Today, he dates his wife every 2 weeks. He not only has breakfast with his girls, he brings them to school. His wife will pick him up because he's in the middle of his workday. But at the end of the day, he will also put them to sleep and read a book to them. That changed his life. I forgot the most important. He also changed his work schedule from 7 days to 5 days. He not doubled his income, but almost doubled his income because life was better, right? I always tell people, like, why are you making so much money and forgetting like the most important part of your life, right? So if that story, resonates with you, please take a look at your schedule and let's work on this. Basically, Anita, I think now.
Yeah, and I think we are going to go into some solutions, so quick fixes for how to, how can you alleviate some of these things, and to what you spoke about a little bit later. But before we do that, and I thank you, Nancy, it's so important that we know how important it is to manage your time right and alleviate your stress. But let's talk a little bit also about why is it happening? Because it seems to be so common in any business, and especially for small business owners. It's, the overwhelm, the stress, like I don't have any time. I don't have enough time at home with my loved ones. I spend all my time in my business to the point where, we experience burnout and we're no longer motivated in our business, right? So let's talk about some of the reasons this is happening. And, when we're in school, and we can go into a whole conversation about school and what we learn in school, but we don't necessarily learn how to run a business. Even if you go to a business school and you go to school to learn how to run a business, there are so many things that you just can't be taught, and you don't know what you don't know until you run into it. So for those of you that are listening that have your own business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a million different scenarios that we don't know that we're going to run into and experience. So if we talk about specific types of business owners, and I want to mention 2 specifically here. One is, this is a person that works in a company, and this may be many of us, You work in a company, you're the top employee. You're the one that everyone comes to for advice. You're the one that always takes on new projects. You don't say no to anything. You love what you do and you're all involved. And then you're like, well, I don't really feel appreciated for what I do. And I'm doing all this for this person that owns this company. Why can't I just do that for myself? I'm putting in all this effort. Let me put that effort into myself, which is great. And we commend all of you for taking that step to go and put it into your own business. But what happens a lot is you start your own business, and instead of becoming the CEO of your business, you are now the top employee of your own business. You still continue to take on everything yourself. You don't know how to delegate because you never did. People just delegated to you, and you just keep completing task after task and stay busy, and you never become the CEO that your business needs, the one that thinks long-term strategy and growth of your business. You get stuck in the tasks. So I think a lot of us can relate to that. And then the second business owner I want to talk about, which Nancy is obviously very relevant to us and this podcast, and the one that we love to work with, businesses to make an impact. So these are business owners that they have a specific talent or a skill set. They have something they're very, very passionate about, or they have a message that they want to share with the world. So they're starting a business to help others because they feel that their passion has helped them. And we applaud this passion. But just because you have a passion and believe that people could benefit from your message or service doesn't mean you know how to run an efficient business. And we see that's a lot. Oh, it happens all the time. And it's exactly why we started this podcast. So to be able to help these passionate business owners find ways to grow their business and be able to share their passion and get inspired by other business owners that have done the same. So you can do both. You can have your passion, share your message, and at the same time run a business that's efficient and is driving revenue, right?
Yeah. And I think, Anita, one of the things that's really important is for them to really understand different types of solutions that are out there. I mean, we use some of
Yes.
them with our clients, like our 80-20 rule.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people have heard about it, but there are some people that still don't know what the 80-20 rule, but so just a briefer, it's called Pareto's principle. And it came about many decades ago. We still use it, in nature, in business, definitely for sure. And in business, what we say is 80% of your results comes from 20% of your efforts, or 80% of your revenue generates 20% of what you're doing every day. So you can use this in many different ways, but this is helping you really identify the importance of the tasks that you have and prioritizing them over the less important ones. And also just, ensuring that they get, like these tasks are not just getting done, but they're being done without being without being a procrastinator, um, and really being enthusiastic about getting to your results. So, I'm going to give you an example. So let's just say you have 10 tasks to do. The 80-20 rule suggests that you should identify the 2 tasks that you have the greatest impact, prioritize them over the other 8, and you're just going to be able to make sure that you're maximizing your productivity and that you're achieving your goals effectively and efficiently. And yes, by doing this, it will help reduce your stress, my favorite word. Yes, there's a lot of stress in this world. So if we could take a few things and reduce your stress, why not? But allowing you to focus on the most important tasks and avoiding that overwhelming feeling by that long to-do list, or your thick pad that has all these notes that you're never going to get to if you don't put them in your calendar. Um, you can ask yourself some typical questions like, do you have a scheduled planner? Are you using an online calendar? Do you use it effectively and efficiently? I'll explain to you in a minute, but I just want to make sure that you guys do have, your tasks written down. So we're gonna show you a few things that we do, and whatever questions that you guys have, either jot them here if you're live, or just send us, either Anita or myself a message on LinkedIn, or even in our email of info@impactfulbusinessvoices.com, and one of us will get back to you. But By doing this, it's going to really, really help you stay organized, manage your time. So are you setting realistic goals, or do you set any goals at all? Right? Some people don't, and some people have them written in their head. You need to have them written down, right?
And I
Brainstorm on there. Go ahead.
and I think, Nancy, that too is a great point. Are you setting your goal? And I think that's a whole other podcast topic that we're going to cover in like future months. So stay tuned for goal setting. That's definitely coming up.
Yep, yep. And you have to make time for your goal settings. What do you want? How are you going to get it? How much time are you going to take to actually do this? When do you want it to be done? Sometimes you could work backwards and know, okay, I want 5 clients by then. So what do you have to do to get those 5 clients by then? So sometimes you do have to work backwards and work with your KPIs. How many calls did it take you to make those? That's going to really help you get those tasks up there. And we can definitely help you with that. Number one, even though we always hear women multitask and men don't, well, we do multitask, but try to avoid multitasking. Do one thing at a time so that you can actually be more productive. It actually works. And again, on my favorite one, it will decrease your stress level. So focusing on one task at a time, giving it full attention, you're going to see that it's going to really help you get things done quicker. Also, don't forget to take some breaks. I used to always forget to take breaks. I used to do calls like back one after the other and literally not breathe in between. No bathroom break, no 2 minutes on your 5-10 minutes on the balcony. Don't start making phone calls during those times. Don't start answering emails during those times. Put that time in your agenda. Okay, I'm going to answer emails maybe in the morning and in the afternoon, specific times that you know when you're doing it. And you could even write that as an email reply, an automatic email reply, like, thank you for emailing me. I look at my emails at 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. so that they're not expecting an email back. Little things like that, just little tiny changes. So coming back to your breaks, stop. Engage in activities that are going to make you relax, reduce your stress, whether it's doing breathing exercises, whether it's, for me, it's sitting on my balcony and watching the water, a block away. Whatever floats your boat to relax you, do it. And if you don't know what it is, figure it out. Because if you don't take time to relax, go find out what does help you relax. It's going to help you, recharge your time. It's going to help you stay focused. And I call it's like one of the top rules to follow. One thing that I find that's very hard for me, and this was many years ago, is learning to say no. I never said no, ever, ever, ever. And you touched on it, Anita. And I learned now to say no. It's not because I'm not a good person. It's because I need to respect my time and myself, right? So when we say no, we can't do it today. Maybe we could do it in 2 days or 24 hours or in 3 days. It's about respecting your own time. And, I'm praying that they're going to respect me for my time, and not say, oh, you sure you can't find another 15 minutes and make me feel bad? Don't fall in that hole, right? And don't remove your personal time for that. It's not because they are not important. Actually, it's the opposite. It's because you are important.
That's such a great point, Nancy. And it's kind of one of those like unwritten rules that we just never follow, but we know we should. And I think also going back to like businesses that make an impact, often they're givers, they're helpers, the business owners are. They want to be out there helping people, and it is very hard for them to say no. And the problem is that tend to leave some of the key priorities behind, priorities that they should handle because they want to be there for other people. But I was reminded of this in a summit I attended just this past week. And it was such a great point. It's like, well, you're there for everybody else. Maybe it's, harsh words, but maybe it's time to consider who's really there for you. Take a look. Who is there for you when you need to talk about your business, when you need help with your business? Are those the same people that you are there for, that you say yes to every single time? So that's always a good exercise to do. And also, you got to take care of yourself before you can to be able to take care of others. And, just like when you're on an airplane, you put mask on yourself before you put it on your child or before you put it on anybody else. Because if you're not taken care of, then you're not going to benefit anybody around you.
Yeah. And, like, you don't have to tell people. If people say, are you sure you can't be available for me at 5 o'clock or 5:30? You don't have to tell people that I'm having dinner with my family or I'm spending time with my daughter, my son, it's nobody's business. I'm busy. I'm not available at that time. It should be very
clear. It's not going to work
clear
for me right now. Yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, and I learned to do that. It was a very hard one for me many years ago. But when you master it, you will understand why you did it for yourself and for your family. And I guarantee you, your family and yourself, you will appreciate yourself a lot more. So that brings us to something that I was introduced to, and now we actually both share this with our clients. But I do have to tell you, it's not a 5-minute activity. So please, guys, Anita mentioned in the beginning, bring your pens and papers or come back to this recording, but take some notes and actually implement what you're going to be learning today. I guarantee it's going to help you in your business. But it's something that will change your time management forever if you follow it and listen to yourself. So we call it our 168-hour worksheet. And this is for, again, both your personal and your business. So here's the thing, guys. We have 7 days, 24 hours in a day. We have 168 hours in a week. I didn't even realize that's how many hours that we had before I did this exercise, to be honest. But that's a lot of hours. And some people just keep themselves busy. Some people do have a strict calendar, and that keeps them occupied with their personal and business appointments. And some don't even have a calendar at all. I pray for them, because I know when I did not have a calendar, it was terrible, horrible, nothing organized. I was here and there. But I think that those that don't have calendars or don't use it completely, I believe it's only because they either don't understand the importance of it, and maybe they just don't understand the importance of why it's going to help them focus better, manage better, spend more time with their family. But you want to ensure that you're having a balance with your work, your personal, and your leisure time. This is so important. And it is a tool that'll help you manage your time more effectively, efficiently, and it will provide you a visual representation of how you spend your time every day, and every hour, right? It's broken down in a 24-hour increment for each day. And you'll see when you have it broken down. And, Anita will talk about the template that we'll offer you guys, but it needs to be broken down in 5 different segments: your personal, your business, your family and friends, your spiritual and health, and finally, most important that a lot of us forget, is your sleep. So you want to take each section and write down in detail everything that you do in that section. Now, you might do things differently this week and next week. That's fine. But just start it with 1 week, right? You're going to create a table, which again, if you guys want a little start, just you'll connect with us and we'll definitely send that to you. But what you want to do is you want to calculate the amount of hours that you take for each task every week, every day. You want to look at what are you overspending time on, underspending time on. You need to work on it to be able to make changes to your schedule so that it'll better your life. This is the whole point of this exercise. And I want to remind you that when you're putting it together, don't forget to create time blocks. Oh my goodness, that's a lifesaver for me. I pick up my daughter to go to in the morning, and I bring her to school and I pick her up after school. Why? We spend more time in our day together. That's 2 hours a day. In the beginning, my coach said, you got to do it. I said, oh my God, 2 hours of my day, that's a lot. The day that I started doing it was the best 2 hours of my day. We get to speak before class. We get to hear how her day was at the end of the day. And it's just mommy and daughter time, right? It really gives us a reason for everything, honestly. Even ask yourself things like, when you're doing your blocks, is it helping me spend more time with my family? Is it a revenue generating activity when we're looking at the business side? Is it a waste of my time? And And I say waste of time because that's a big one. I was coaching somebody that they were in insurance business. And during the day, I noticed that they got onto an NFT. Somebody was teaching NFT something. I don't remember the exact detail. And I sent him a message and, why did you go watch that? I said, are you going to even ever do NFT information? Oh, no, it's just information to know. I was like, then that's your time waster. I said, if you're not going to do it, buy anything, sell anything or whatever, don't waste your time. That's a whole hour of the week that they can add some revenue generating activities in. You can ask also questions like, is it going to help me maybe with another task? Things like that. So you really want to question yourself and don't do it while you're doing 20 things at the same time. So I'm going to just give you a few tips. And Anita, if you have anything to add, please do. But when you complete filling up this 168 worksheet, I'm reminding you, fill it up for 1 week only. Do not fill it up for 2 or 3 weeks, just 1 week. Start with one step. And then what you want to do is look at, again, what you're spending too much time on, not enough time on, and where do you need to make changes because of the realizations that you're now having during that process. Ensure that you are assessing your progress. So important. Evaluate where your goals are, where your tasks are. Are you putting something off that you're struggling from? Don't put it in 3 weeks. Do it now. These are the hard things. So put in your agenda. You don't know how to do it? Connect with somebody that knows how to do it. Try to remove that stress. So again, make sure that it's in your calendar because you're going to find different areas where you're going to want to improve. You're going to adjust, things like that. So the other one that I spoke to earlier, it's those time wasters. What are those activities? Are you actually spending more time on social media than you should? And I'm not talking about just business commenting. It could be personal. Go put some social media time of business, social media time of personal in your calendar so you're not overspending. Use a timer. If you see that you go over the time, use that timer. Again, it'll help you stop procrastinating. And maybe also you're spending not enough time on, or too much time, on your low priority tasks. Ask yourself why. Go and look at your calendar again. So you will need to make adjustments, whether you like it, want it or not, from everything that you learn as you're putting into your calendar, but just be flexible. Make sure that you're open to making changes. If you're not welcoming change, you're going to be stuck the way that you're doing and nothing's going to change. Like, is that really what you want? So you have to really question yourself on that. But life, it's very predictable. And, you want to remember, just remember that sometimes in life, you do have unexpected events and emergencies that arise. Put that in your calendar, just be prepared to be able to adjust your schedule and stay flexible. It's really, really important. Another thing that was hard for me, and I bring it to you guys, is to set yourself some boundaries. Sleep enough. For me, I need 8 hours of sleep. If I don't, I'm not having a good day the next day. So I'd say somewhere between 7 and 9, yourself, but your body does need to be at its best the next day. And remember one thing that I heard a long time ago: if you sleep 10 hours today, you can't sleep 6 tomorrow and feel good. Every night, you have to have those same amount of hours. You can't just save those and add another the next day. It just doesn't work like that. Even if we wanted to, it just doesn't work. Don't forget to set yourself personal time with yourself, your family, your kids, your spouse. These are all important separately. You want to sit with the family completely together. You want to sit with your kids one-on-one or with all together. One-on-one is very important. Give yourself some breaks in between. Respect yourself, respect your time. You don't want to just have a filled up calendar, right? So just keep that in mind. And, it might sound like a lot, and many things in life sound like a lot, but if you really want to reduce that stress because you're overworking, and again, you're living to work instead of working to live, you're not valuing your own time. You're not respecting yourself. So remember that it's in your hands. We're just teaching it to you and praying and hoping that you're going to be using this to change your business and your life, right? So you have the tool to do it. The question is, when are you going to actually start managing your calendar in a more effective and efficient way? So I would say put that on your calendar and make time for the things that matter to you. Make the most of your time and stay on track with your goals and time. That's the really most important thing.
Yeah, Nancy, that's great. And I love the 160 hours. I can't talk right now. 168-hour work session it's great. And I know we get so much from our clients when we go through that exercise. And to add to what you said, yes, the sleep thing is key, because you're not functioning at your best if you're not getting enough sleep. And I think a lot of you, if you do this exercise and you do the first week and make sure to write down how you spend every hour that week, you will have a lot of surprises. And you're going to look at that and it's like, really, that's what I do. That's where I spend my time. And it's going to be a little bit of a wake up call for many of you. And I want to go back a little bit to what you said, wasted time. I'd be a little careful too with what you call wasted time. Like, don't label your personal time as wasted time. If you, if you have things you need to do to refresh yourself, your mind, your spirit, your body, that's not necessarily called wasted time. So I would say, in my household, we need, like, every couple of weeks or so, we need a day at the beach, because the water just like re-energizes us. That's our time. Like, that refreshes us and keeps us going. I know for some people, you need to unwind and de-stress your brain. They play video games, Yes, many may consider that waste of time. But if that's what it takes for your mind to unwind, maybe it's not. Just make sure you put a timer on it, right? Make sure
That's important.
you're not sitting out and you're getting enough sleep. So it's, the definition of wasted time, it's really so subjective, and what works for you in your world. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's an amazing exercise. And one more solution to time management that I want to talk about, which kind of goes back a little bit to what Nancy said about the 80-20 rule. As a business owner, there are really, and I'm kind of jumping back here, but there are really 4 key areas that we need to focus on to grow and scale our business. And that should be business development. So finding partners and new opportunities for your business to grow. Operations, which definitely goes into time management, because you need to streamline your operation and making your business more efficient, meaning a lot of automation and freeing up your time to spend where it's well spent. Marketing campaigns, you got to get your message out there. And another big time management thing is leadership development. You need to find and develop new employees to help alleviate some of your responsibilities. And that's kind of going back to a conversation of, you shouldn't be the employee in your business. You should be the CEO. And that means you have to find those people that you can develop to help take over some of those employee tasks and allow you to be the CEO. So whether you're like a business owner that's now the top employee in your business, like we just said, or if you're a business owner with a passion, it's important for all of you. You just have to learn to delegate and stop thinking that you are all alone in this whole venture of being a new business owner, and that you have to go at it all by yourself. There's so many resources, tools, people out there that can help you get to the next level. So task inventory and delegation is what I'm going to talk about. So here's an exercise. So again, if you didn't grab your pen and paper or have your notes up, this is the time to do it. So I want you to think about where your time is currently spent across these categories. Write them down and put down what percentage of your time is spent in each one of these. First category, selling, developing leaders, writing promotional content, paid marketing and ads, client work and fulfillment, admin, operations and systems, business development, thinking and resting, and the last one, being distracted and unproductive. Yeah, we're all going to have some percentages in that last category. That's unavoidable. But what percentage is it? So I know I just rattled those off to you, and you can look at the replay on YouTube. So make sure you get them all down. or we'll talk about, we can share some worksheets with you in a little bit. But across those categories, where is the percentage of your time spent? Now, if you add up the first 4 categories, which were selling, developing leaders, writing promotional content, and paid marketing and ads, what is your percentage combined for those 4 categories? These are your key revenue generating activities. So let's use an example, and we're going to calculate this and how it could potentially impact your business. So if you add up those 4 categories and you say that I spent 10% across those 4 categories, that means you spent 10% of your time across your key revenue generating activities. So if you spend 10% of your time there now and your business currently makes, say, $10,000 a month, if you spent 80% of your time in those 4 categories, your business had the potential to make $80,000 a month. So think about that for a second. That's how important it is to spend your time in the revenue generating activities. So where do you spend your time in your business? I mean, we know that your business is your baby and it's hard to delegate. You know, we know this. We feel the same way. It's hard to delegate certain tasks, but you have to be able to grow and make sure you are staying healthy and motivated and don't burn out. You have to be able to delegate, and you can't do it all by yourself. You have to be able to ask for help and pass along some of those pieces of your baby to somebody else, right? It's like, yes, Nancy, you're on mute.
Thank you. I was just going to, sorry about that. Stop being that CEO, chief of everything officer. Stop doing that, because you are going to overwhelm and you're going to back up. Actually, get yourself a VA. If you don't have one, connect with us. We'll get you. We've got a whole team of them. So yeah, sorry, Anita, just wanted to say.
No, it's fine. It's almost like, I guess for us moms out there, it's kind of like the first time you get a babysitter that you're not sure if you're 100% comfortable. Are you going to leave your baby with this person, right? But you have to do it as a mom. You can't be everything to everyone. You need your own break sometimes, right? So here's another exercise. So again, get your pen and paper out. And this is going to help you consider how to delegate and figure out the potential costs to filling those gaps in your organization. And what should you be delegating? So start a spreadsheet. You're going to track the tasks you perform in your business. What are the daily tasks that you yourself perform in your business? Then we're going to talk about the impact of those tasks. We're going to talk about how much time do you spend on that task each month? What's a title or a role that could do that task in your place? And what will be the potential cost to delegate that task to another resource? And then finally, if you're now able to put more impact on that task, what could be your potential ROI if you did? How could it impact your business? So once you write down all your tasks, and I know that can be a lot. It may take you a few days to think of all the tasks and everything you do. But once you write them all down, go through them and mark them with the impact. Is this task a high impact to the revenue of my business? Is it medium? Or it's low, like it's an admin task. It's not really impacting my revenue. It just has to be done, kind of thing. So mark all your tasks with high, medium, or low. And if it's high and you're not currently spending the time on it, or the time you should be spending, then that's a task you should delegate as soon as possible. And now you already went through the exercise. You said, okay, this is how many hours it should take. This is the type of person I could have fill that role. And here's the additional revenue I could potentially get if I delegate this task. So
I want to mention something. Yeah, I want to mention also about your the delegation, something that's really important. And sorry to cut you off, Anita, but delegation, look at things as, what do you not feel like doing? Maybe you don't feel like doing your own accountant, which I suggest you don't. You want to understand the accounting so that when your accountant is talking to you in this finance language, you want to be able to understand it, but you don't need to understand everything about it. You want to do social media manager. You want to do your own social media management. Don't go out there and learn what somebody else knows how to do and they're a professional in it. Hire somebody to do it, so you're not spending those 3-4 hours working in your business. Learn what you need to learn what you need to do when you work on your business. So I mean, these are just two examples. There's so many, but what is it that you do every day that you don't feel like doing, that you don't want to do anymore? Delegate it, right?
Yeah, that's a great point, Nancy. It's what you don't know how to do, what you don't want to do, and then again going back to what is key for your business that you have to get done, and you can get done if you get somebody to help you with it.
Yeah.
So again, just don't feel like you're all alone in it, and don't feel like you don't have any resources. You can have resources, and you need to get the resources, and don't try to do it all by yourself. So final takeaways. Obviously, time management is important. It's key. It's your business. You are the CEO of your business. You're not the employee. You need to manage your business, not the tasks in your business. You need to know where your business is going. You need to have your strategy and goals in place, not managing all the tasks. The only way your business will grow and your message will amplify is if you focus on being a business owner and drive that strategy and surround yourself, like we said, with the right people and the tools to reach your goals. So I know we went through a lot here. We gave you a lot of tips. We talked about a lot of worksheets, and we know it can be a little bit hard to follow as we just like babble away. But we have a bundle of worksheets that ties directly to what we just spoke about, the 168-hour worksheet, the task inventory worksheet, the 80/20, the calculator to help you figure the 80/20 prioritization and how it impacts your business revenue. So if you want to get these worksheets, you can just send us an email at info@impactfulbusinessvoices.com, or just hit us up on LinkedIn, either one of us, or through our Impactful Business Voices page. That works too. And we'll be happy to share that bundle of worksheets with you to hopefully help you grow your business and get out of the task management and be the CEO.
Yeah. Thank you, Anita. And don't forget to also give us your email if you're sending it to us on LinkedIn. So that's how we're going to share the templates with you. So look, guys, you can find a copy of this recording on YouTube. The channel is at Impactful Business Voices. And don't miss out on our future episodes. We ask you to support us. Click on the subscribe button in YouTube. And you'll see that we are always live on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. And we do send it about a week or so before, just so that you guys can see who our next speaker is. And guys, enjoy every podcast. There's so much to learn. Next week, we are going to be speaking with Debbie Brosnan. She's the author of the Effortless Kitchen Cookbook, where it's simple, healthy, delicious recipes that make everyday cooking effortless. So guys, until next week, we are waiting for your email to get those templates. But until next week, go make an impact for you and for everybody around you. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to Impactful Business Voices. Subscribe now and don't miss an episode.